Morning, Prime Minister. Teresa Wright. I'm with iPolitics today. Yesterday, Minister Wilkinson said he's willing to have conversations with Atlantic and Western premiers and provinces that have been raising concern about the financial impacts of the clean fuel regulations. Are you feeling pressure from Conservative premiers to make concessions on this program?
Canadians know that our future requires us to both fight climate change and benefit from the opportunities and investments that come with world-leading climate policies, while at the same time, we're there to support families. That's what the price on pollution has done by both standing up against climate change and putting more money in the pockets of Canadians, including right across Atlantic Canada. Clean fuel standards are an important part of how we make sure that Canada not only responds to climate change, but leads on climate change. I think citizens right across the country, in every corner of the country, know that you cannot have a plan for the future of the economy if you don't have a plan to fight climate change. But as always, we will work collaboratively and respectfully with all orders of government. Canadians want us to be working together to solve the big challenges they're facing, and we'll always do that.
The non-answer. Are you facing pressure from premiers? Then he pauses. Canadians know. That's not he doesn't answer questions ever. He just refuses to answer questions time and time again. You know what that non-answer is? That's him saying yes. That's him absolutely saying yes. That's what I'm hearing from all the Conservative premiers right across the board, without exception. Polls are indicating that this guy is done. I don't understand, and this is the most concerning thing for me right now, how so many Canadians bought in, and some still do buy into this guy over this course of time. I get being tricked during the first election, being enamored by young new ideas, some people some nostalgia for Pierre Trudeau, whatever it may be. But how are there still people out there that buy this non-answer nonsense? It's the fluffiest, most superficial, reality TV nonsense that I've ever seen in politics.
Yeah, no, it's a shame. And, when I hear that clip, it actually reminds me of the pandemic, right? It's you need to get the vaccine. Everyone needs to get vaccinated so that the restrictions can lift, the lockdown can end. The very lockdowns and restrictions they themselves imposed, right? They give you this, little carrot. They say you got to eat the carrot. Otherwise, this random stick that somebody else has is going to hit you when they're holding both of them. And that's the same thing with this environmental stuff, right? We want the environment to be saved so that, everybody is alive. We want to make sure the economy is boosted, and that obviously ties into the environment. So you need to pay an environmental tax to save the planet. It's this weird. I don't know how they're able to sell it, but they do. It's this sad cycle that they go through. First it's too hot, then it's too cold. They keep going down the cycle. I don't know, Adam. What do you make of the state of affairs in environmentalism with Canadian politics?
Yeah, it's their they're the horse that they're going to ride right to the end, no matter what. They're so married to this agenda, and it's so critical to their whole thing. Because frankly, the reality is under Stephen Harper. Say what you will about Stephen Harper. I'm a social conservative. Stephen Harper wasn't. So anyone who's accusing me of being a fanboy of Stephen Harper, that's simply not the case. But even when the world was struggling, Canada was pretty sensibly balanced. Stephen Harper managed to keep things pretty calm, cool, and collected. They had to create a hysteria in order to win because things were going relatively well. And one of the early hysterias, in addition to the Hitler's Harper rhetoric that was being pushed out there, which is wildly offensive, by the way, but in addition to that, climate change was one of their narratives, and they had to see people so afraid. This is textbook crooked, small, corrupt country politicking, is you have people so afraid of some imagined enemy like Eurasia, 1984 style, and climate change is very much the imagined foe that so many progressive governments say you have to submit to us. COVID took that role for a little while, but the big meta one this whole time has been climate change. It's how they got in, it's how they have people afraid. They're pushing it in schools, and they're pushing it right across the board. And the second that that narrative evaporates, and the second the COVID narrative evaporates, this government is based on fear. Justin Trudeau operates despite his promises of sunny ways. If by sunny ways he means like some sort of Egyptian god, perhaps, but he rules with an absolute iron fist, and he doesn't tolerate dissidents. And the core, the heart, the center of this Liberal government from the onset has been fear. If they lose some of their weapons, climate change, COVID, whatever it may be, in their fear narrative, well, they start to lose control. And that's what we're seeing with the polls right now. The fear is starting to fade. People are sick of it, and people want change.
Yeah, no, 100% agree with that. It really is only a matter of time now before he's out. And again, the last thing I touched on in the previous conversation of ours is the accountability. Is he going to be held accountable for all of the egregious things he's done during his time as Prime Minister? Or is he going to, get replaced and everyone's going to forget about him and he's going to, mosey on into some corner of the world and enjoy himself elsewhere without the repercussions of what he's done?
Yeah, the latter. That's what happens, unfortunately, is in politics. Things that, like, I think I saw the other day, Yankee, I think, might have even posted it, that like the average president has like 3 felony charges or something against them. Politicians, all of us would be in jail if we did what any high-level politician did, like on a regular basis. That's just how it works. It's wrong. It's not right. It shouldn't happen. But I, for one, I think Justin Trudeau should be held accountable. I think he's done more than enough illegal stuff for there to be, for anyone else on the planet, legal consequences. But I imagine he'll just go off, and whether it be to Europe or China or even just in his Laurentian estate, I think he's going to get away with absolutely everything, and there'll be no consequences whatsoever. The consequence he will pay, though, is likely not being reelected, which at this point, like, does the guy still have an ego after everything he's been through? Probably somehow, but he shouldn't. It's just embarrassing that this guy's the leader of a country in the purportedly free world. And one of the things that sort of contributes to that in the biggest way is the fact, and we talked about this, whether it's politicians speeding or polluting or flying jets, it's the double speak, the empty rhetoric. He has been the guy for the middle class. That was one of his big things. The Conservatives are for the rich. I'm the guy for the middle class. Let's jump to this Pierre Poilievre clip when he promised you an affordable home. Let's play this tweet now, because it's the nail right on the head what Trudeau's all about.
We need real change in affordable housing.
The federal government is not only back in housing, but we're here to stay. We're moving forward with a national housing strategy. We made housing a priority. The federal government does have a role to play in housing.
And I'll be blunt as well. Housing isn't a primary federal responsibility.
There you have it, folks. It's wild. You look at how bad, you look at the debt that Justin Trudeau has accrued, and it's like all prime ministers combined and then some. You look at the cost of groceries, you look at the cost. If there was sort of a niche market where, say, there's like a shortage and therefore this one thing is really expensive. No. Under Justin Trudeau, inflation has been terrible. Costs have skyrocketed. People can't afford places. Homelessness has skyrocketed. And all of this from a government that profess to be for the little guys all along. It's sickening, really, to see what's happening.
Just get rid of your Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do, and you'll have enough money to get by. No, literally, that's the solution Chrystia Freeland proposed, right?
Yeah.
How do we work with people like that? How do you get an honest bargain out of somebody who's just so out of reality and she doesn't understand the daily needs of everyday Canadians?
Hey folks, that was a clip from the daily live stream. I co-host it Monday to Thursday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Alberta team takes over on Friday. Please tune in. And by the way, we want to hear your 2 cents worth. If you're able to make a minimal $5 donation, we will read your chat on the air live. Thank you.